That sentence by George Eliot, a woman who hid behind a man's name to be heard in a man's world of the 19th century, is not merely advice. It is a profound declaration of freedom, time, and the essence of human existence. It does not shout like a slogan, it breathes softly like truth itself, quiet yet piercing the heart. Because who among us has not once looked back and whispered, "If only I had been braver then, would my life be different now?" There are long nights when we sit in silence, gazing into the mirror and seeing not only our face but also the years that have passed. We see missed opportunities, abandoned dreams, wrong turns. We see the person we once wished to become and the person we are now. Between those two images lies a distance, sometimes vast, sometimes just a single step away, and yet we hesitate to cross it. We tell ourselves it's too late to change, too late to begin again, too late to dream anew. And in that moment we surrender our soul. Time, which could have been our path, becomes our prison. George Eliot saw through that illusion. She said, "It is never too late." Time is not an enemy. It is the quiet ally of those who dare to live truthfully. Time does not steal your chances, only fear does. Every morning the sun rises. It doesn't ask how old you are or how many times you've failed. It only asks, will you begin again today? Human beings are born with the capacity for rebirth. We are not defined by our past, but by the choices we make today. The difference between those who live in regret and those who live in hope is not measured in years, but in courage. History is full of those who proved this truth. Colonel Sanders built KFC at 65. Grandma Moses began painting at nearly 80. Nelson Mandela walked out of prison after 27 years and rewrote the destiny of a nation. No one was late. They simply began when their souls were ready. Eliot's words carry an existential truth. A human being is not a finished product, but a being in the process of becoming. You are not what you once did. You are what you choose to become now. Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Existence precedes essence." We are born first, and we define ourselves through our actions and choices. Eliot believed the same. Within every person lies an unopened seed, waiting for the courage and awareness to nurture it into life. What stops us is not circumstance, but fear. Fear of failure, of ridicule, of starting over, of running out of time. Fear is a gilded cage, safe yet suffocating. It makes us live as characters in someone else's story rather than the author of our own. Eliot reminds us that what's truly tragic is not failing, but realizing one day that we have never truly lived. The greatest regret is not losing opportunities, it is never daring to try. To overcome fear, we must look inward with compassion. No judgment, no shame, only honesty. We must be able to say, "I was wrong, but I can still be right. I was weak, but I can still be strong." Every act of self-awareness is a step closer to freedom. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is knowing who you are and having the courage to live accordingly. At any moment, we are free to choose. We can continue as we are or begin again. No one forces us to repeat yesterday. If today you dare to choose differently, to speak kindly, to act bravely, to think compassionately, you are already becoming what you might have been. Eliot does not ask us to erase the past, but to stop letting it bind us. Let the past be a teacher, not a sentence. Those who live in this spirit share certain rare qualities: awareness, resilience, courage, and humility. They do not flee from truth, they face it. They know that the road to change will wound them, but each scar teaches something sacred. They are not afraid to fall because each fall is proof that they are moving forward. They dare to live authentically, even when authenticity is lonely. And above all, they remain humble enough to know that no one is perfect, but everyone can grow. Eliot's sentence carries moral weight as well. The worth of a person is not measured by speed or success, but by honesty with oneself. The modern world worships early success, wealth, and fame. But Eliot reminds us, every soul has its own rhythm. Some take 10 years to understand themselves, some take a lifetime. No one is slow, only those who haven't begun. The beauty of life lies not in arriving early, but in never betraying one's path. To become what you might have been, you must first make peace with your past. Forgiving yourself is the first act of rebirth. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means looking back and saying, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. Forgiveness lets you lift your head again to walk instead of kneel before your mistakes. Only when you forgive yourself can you believe in your capacity to become better. But understanding alone is not enough. Transformation begins with action. No one becomes new through promises alone. It takes one small step, hesitant, perhaps trembling, but real. A written page, a word of gratitude, a phone call of reconciliation, a decision to try once more. Each small act is a brick in the house of your future. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You begin to become perfect. To live as Eliot urges is to walk against the current. The world says, it's too late. Eliot says, no, it's exactly time. The world demands that you shine early. Eliot only asks that you be honest. It takes rare courage, because the journey back to oneself is often lonely. Yet in that loneliness, the soul begins to speak again. If you once had dreams that faded, do not think you've failed. Eliot does not call you to return to the past, but to awaken its spirit in the present. If you once wanted to write, then write today, even one line. If you once longed to love, begin with forgiveness. If you once wanted to help others, start with the person beside you. What you might have been is not a career nor a title. It is a state of being, a soul living in alignment with its truest self. Eliot's words are a call to rebirth, not of the body, but of the mind. We cannot start over from zero, but we can start again from here with new awareness, new courage, new wisdom. No one truly begins from nothing. We begin from experience, from scars, from lessons learned. Every time we choose to live differently, we are reborn within the same life. And when we realize this, we see that everything happens in its time. Don't lament being late. Your soul arrived precisely when it was ready to understand. Some lessons cannot come earlier. If you had never been broken, you would never know what it means to heal. If you had never been lost, you would never understand the grace of finding yourself again. More than a century has passed, yet Eliot's voice still echoes quietly in the human heart, because it speaks of a truth we all resist, that we can change, and if we don't, it is by choice. Each of us carries two selves, who we are and who we might become. Between them lies a bridge called courage. The world does not need more perfect people. It needs those who are real, those who dare to begin again, to rise after falling. Those who have failed most may be the most alive, because they have dared most. No one else can measure the distance of a soul in transformation. Only you know how far you have come. And if today you feel lost, if you think you've missed your chance, if you believe life has moved on without you, pause, breathe, and remember Eliot's words. It is never too late to be what you might have been. No one asks you to return to who you were. Simply begin to live as the person your heart has always longed to be. Forgive yourself. Regret changes nothing, but action changes everything. Believe that as long as there is one breath left in you, you can still rewrite your story. Time does not take away your chances. Fear does. And fear fades only when you start walking. Each step, no matter how small, is a declaration that you still believe in yourself. Every sunrise that touches your face is not just light. It is a reminder that you still have time to become you. Do not live as though everything is over. Do not think that your best chapters are behind you. Perhaps the most important chapter, the one that gives meaning to all the others, is waiting to be written today, and when you begin, you will see, there is no such thing as too late. There is only now, and within now, every possibility still exists. You don't have to be someone else. You only have to become the person you were always meant to be, brave, honest, kind, and true. Believe it. Live as though George Eliot were whispering beside you. It is never too late to be what you might have been, because it's true. It has never been too late to begin again, and it has never been too late to become yourself. It is never too late to be what you might have been. Time doesn't erase your chances. Fear does. As long as you breathe, you can begin again. Every sunrise whispers the same truth. You still have time to become you.